What? Something wrong with Shmuel Mars having a drink from time to time while you sit there and question his habits that don't even matter in your filthy life? If not, come sit and drink with him because you're about to be schmolled.
And now, H-Town's most exciting radio podcast, the Houston Szmul Show, home of trends, pop culture, current events, and much more. And here he is, New York Times best-selling author and National/Radio Hall of Fame inductee, the man himself, the one and only Szmul Mars.
Well, this is it. The not-so-lucky number. 13. That's right. Episode 13. Thank you all for joining Szmul Mars for the 13th time. The winter season is pretty much over here in Houston, with temperatures slowly going back up. Although Szmul Mars has to admit that snow day was lit, but the fun is not over. We got rodeo season happening right now in Houston, so get your boots working and don't let your truck break down. So that's that. Now, back to 13. If Szmul Mars can live up to 13 episodes, then he's lucky enough to break the curse of 13. That alone makes him feel lucky today. And you? Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Well, if you came across this channel, you are more than lucky. You were chosen. So click that subscribe button and become a new convert, a Szmuler. Suscitare unum, suscitare multos. And don't forget to follow the Holy Trinity and to visit the holy city of Houston at least once in your lifetime. Last but not least, be sure to fast on the 17th day of the 4th month, the most sacred month for a Szmuler. May the Szmul influence be upon you. Speaking of devotion and virtuousness, we, as Szmulers, need to show kindness to the world. If you see someone in need, don't hesitate to assist. Show the world what a real Szmuler is. Show compassion, inspire the world, touch people's hearts with good deeds, even those that crawl in their belly. They are no exception to the compassion of Szmul Mars and his followers. But Szmul, what do you mean by those that crawl in their belly? Oh, you'd be surprised. Not all beasts of the earth were created equal. Some were made to walk on their feet, others to crawl on their belly. Well, this crawling beast, capable of eating you whole, was in need of a lift, literally. And this man, a good Samaritan, gave the beast the lift of its life. And upon doing so, the beast was so grateful that it chose not to eat the man. You see, kindness goes a long way, even for terrifying beasts. Would you like to see an example of real compassion? Well, brace yourselves, because this is the compassion that a Szmuler is compelled to do. Lo and behold. cost of living in Florida is sky high that everyone is leaving. Even gators are moving out. If you're a gator looking for a better future, then Texas will always welcome you with a big heart. After all, everything is bigger in Texas. So let's talk about this dollar fence. There's more iron in that man's blood than there is in that fence. And there's more steel in that man's than there is in that fence. And last but not least, this man has a heart of gold, which is more solid than this fence. That's 3 strikes right there. Whoever built that fence should instead build guitars, since guitar strings are just as bendable as the fence. Now, back to the croc. You know damn well this gator is a repeat felon. Years behind bars seem to have paid off. That's why you don't see gators in prison that often, because they break out in that same moment. Good way to break Florida state law. You, however, should refrain from doing that. Obey the law. Which comes down to this. A new bill has been passed by Florida, and it has taken effect right now. And it goes like this. State Bill Gator Aid. If a citizen shall witness an alligator in need, he or she is obligated to lend it a hand, so long as the hand is returned to him or her. Szmul Mars concurs. Hand of applause. Hopefully, this teaches a lesson to everyone in days to come, because it shows who's real and who's fake. Take this footage, for example. In retrospect to the fence and the man, the gator just found out who's the real one. The fake one held him back, and the real one backed him up. Brothers for life. And the other? Just a fading memory. Alright, you know the drill. With Szmul Mars being a best-selling author, it should be no surprise that he can write a story of just about anything. That being said, Szmul Mars has just released his first new bestseller of 2025, 2 Floridans and a Fence, a story of compassion and kindness, no matter the kind. So with no further ado, let's tear down barriers and unite for an immersive experience. And here we go. The cost of living in Florida has gone up. So Billy, the alligator, has decided to move out. Billy just wasn't making it paycheck to paycheck, managing the swamp. Besides, all the fishes and ducks of the area had also left due to the rising costs. There was nothing to eat for Billy except an authentic Florida human, which are hard to catch since they tend to avoid the water. Fortunately for Billy, he had a cousin in Alabama who offered him a place to stay. With no other option, Billy started marching northwest towards Alabama. A sense of sadness struck Billy as he passed landmarks that for so long he considered part of his home. He had hopes of returning someday when things go back to normal. After marching for days, Billy finally made it to the border between Florida and Alabama. For a moment, he stood there, deep in thought, processing the fact that a metal fence is what divides 2 different states, let alone 2 different environments. One side of the fence is flourishing, while the other is struggling. Billy noticed that there's no entry gate, and that the space between the railings is too narrow. Since Billy was an ex-con, he knew how to get through bars by bending them. All those years of breaking out of jail have culminated into this. With immalleable commitment, he inspected the railings to test their stiffness, like a true investigator. Upon realizing their lack of rigidity, Billy proceeded to bend the bars and push through. He managed to go in head first, but he got stuck. He pushes again to no avail. He is trapped in the metal fence. Billy starts panicking, fearing that he's permanently stuck there and that he will slowly die of starvation and thirst. He was about to lose hope when suddenly, out of nowhere, a Florida man walks by. Although he couldn't see him due to the position that he was trapped, he could smell him and hear him thanks to his predator senses. "Hey buddy, you need some help?" said the Florida man. Billy, embarrassed by the fact that his lunch had to assist him, reluctantly agrees. "If you don't mind," sad and ashamed Billy. The blow to his ego was just too painful to not do anything regarding his situation. As the man approaches to help Billy, he notices a scar on the left side of Billy's head, and Billy recognizes the smell on the man. They both just realize that they've met before. "I know you," said the man. "What a coincidence," said Billy. Years prior, the Florida man was chopping wood near a river when he was spotted by Billy. It was a rare find for Billy, since few humans would visit his environment. Billy had stalked the man, and when caught off guard, Billy grasped the man's foot with his powerful jaw and began dragging him away into the river. The man then used his chopping axe to strike Billy on the side of the head. That's when Billy let him go and took off. "You tried to eat me," said the man. "Yeah, I was hungry and broke. I had to survive," said Billy. "Me too, which is why I took a job as a lumberjack. I had to provide for my family." It was clear that they both knew the struggle. It had gotten rough in Florida. "Thanks for surrendering with dignity. I managed to live and see my kids grow up. I also saw my recent lumberjack business grow, all because of you," said the man. Billy, shocked at the fact that this human is thanking him instead of taking revenge on him, feels a sigh of relief. "Let me return the favor to you by letting you live," said the man. And so, the man proceeds to help Billy push through the railings. After a brief struggle, Billy comes out on the other side. Billy turns around and sees the man for the first time since the encounter. "My God, it really is you," said Billy. He felt so touched by the man's kindness that he chose to spare him a second time. "Yeah, it costs nothing to be kind. Now off you go," said the man. He begins to turn around and walk away. "Wait," said Billy. The man stops and turns towards Billy. "I never said thank you," said Billy. "From Florida you did not," said the man with a smirk, which Billy returned. And so, they both parted ways, with one Floridan going deep into Florida and the other deep into Alabama. Prey or predator, mammal or reptile, no matter the barrier, two Floridans had just become brothers for life. And just like that, the spirit of Florida is unbendable. The end. Well, there you have it. A perfect example of compassion, no matter who or what you are. That's how a real Szmuler is supposed to be. Helping those in need, being merciful to those who wronged you, and loving your neighbors. And with this lesson, Szmul Mars hopes that you, fellow Szmuler, go out into this ugly world and make it a better one. Spread the influence, lend a hand, leave no one behind. Well, thank you very much for congregating on this 13th episode. Hopefully, you had a blast, because Szmul Mars definitely did. Again, thank you for your listenership and viewership. This is Szmul Mars, transmitting live from the Houston North Side. And as always, stay tuned for more episodes. You have been Szmuled. Till next time.
The Houston Szmul Show, the Space City's #1 radio podcast show, making the space between us even smaller since 2023.